Yo guys, it's the Cypher Slacker, and we have got an extended look at Arcana Force. So first, we are going to start with the three bigger boss monsters. So looking at these three cards, we've got a copy of the Dark Ruler, the Light Ruler, and the World. So the Dark Ruler is kind of the better of the two rulers. These can be summoned off easily with the Chaos Ruler. And the whole point of this is to kind of end on the World and then tribute the World and then tribute your Chaos Ruler, which I'm going to show you the end board and when we get towards the end of this video. And stay tuned for the combo video where you'll actually get to see the interactions and what happens. So basically, Chaos Ruler can summon out these two big guys, or Chaos Ruler can search an Arcana spread, which can revive the World from the graveyard. Okay, so basically these are essentially bricks. The Light Ruler is something that probably not a lot of people are going to play. I've chosen to run it just because I wanted to have another Arcana Force name to summon off if for some reason the Dark Ruler gets destroyed. But I like to think very soon we're going to be getting Animation Chronicles like around the corner. We're going to be getting reveals for that, and I'm hoping that we get an Arcana Force card in the reveals. But just to explain, so Arcana Force, if you don't know what they do, on summon you flip a coin. Heads, they get an effect. Tails, they get another effect. Unless you have this card on the field, it is called Light Barrier. This allows you to choose which coin flip effect your Arcana Force monster gets. So just to go through these, the Dark Ruler can actually attack twice. Its heads effect, its tails effect. If it gets destroyed, destroy all cards on the field. So that's actually a pretty good heads and tails effect. The Light Ruler, I think, allows you to grab a card back from grave. And then the other effect is it gets anything that targets it gets negated. In the World, during your end phase, send 2 cards to skip your opponent's turn. I'm not even going to read the tails effect because the tails effect of that doesn't matter unless you accidentally don't have Light Barrier on the field or whatever. You are never going to be going for it. Your extender and main special summon target that can grab you Light Force. This card is called Arcana Force 19 Sun. Its its heads effect allows you to search any coin cost effect, any coin toss spell or trap card and set it. And its tails effect it's just a spell card. My bad. Set 1 spell card that has a coin flip effect, or tails, destroy all cards on the spell and trap zones. So that one is your one of your main starters you want to get to, and this is one of the other ones. This is the Fiend. You can pitch this to search the Light Barrier. So it's pretty much just a pitch, add field spell. Definitely worth running 3 of, in my opinion. Temperance is a battle trap. If you get attacked by something that can potentially kill you, you discard Temperance from hand, and you don't take any battle damage from that battle. This one specifically is probably cuttable, but I kind of like having it just in case I'm about to get OTK'd by something. If I say I don't get set up correctly and I have to actually let my opponent play the game. This card actually has dual use. This is Hierophant. So this is a normal summon, but it's also a discard. So a normal summon or special summon, this card can special summon out. If you flip heads, this can special summon out an Arcana Force to your side of the field, a level 4 or lower Arcana Force. If you choose tails, you can summon any level to your opponent's field. And also, if you have this card in hand, you can discard it to the graveyard, and your opponent cannot activate card effects in response to your Arcana Force monster's effect activation. So basically shielding you from things like Imperm Veiler, Ash, doesn't shield you from Droll, and doesn't stop, things like Nib, or I'm trying to think what Shifter, anything like that. So these are kind of the one-ofs, besides the Fool, that I would consider cutting if we were to get new support as well. I like the Fool because if you use Hierophant's effect, summon it to your opponent's field. Okay, check this out. This is peep the move here. Basically, what my setup is whenever I go for it, like whenever I'm going for game, is to get out the Dark Ruler with 2 attacks, use the Hierophant, summon the Fool to my opponent's field, and then attack it twice. So sometimes your opponent will be able to see ahead of time what you're doing, and they will know, okay, well, you're not going to be able to OTK me if I have this on board. Okay, well, then that's fine. Here, take the Fool. Okay, you give them the Fool, you're pretty much set. Okay, so 1 card starter here. We have Light Force. Now, this card does lock you into Arcana Force monsters. We only have 1 currently in the extra deck that is an Arcana Force. So I would not advocate for playing anything else unless you're just using it as pot of extravagance fodder, which I totally get. I'm not playing that because I'm trying to keep it as pure Arcana Force as possible. But on activation, basically you get to discard a card and add 2 Arcana Force monsters. So it's a straight up searcher. You don't have to have anything on board to activate this. You don't have to have Light Barrier. You don't have to have anything. They gave this deck a 1 card activate it, and you get to choose, which most of the time, a majority of the time, you're going to be going for these 2 cards. You're going to be going for the Fiend, and you're going to be going for Sun, because this gets you to the Light Barrier, and then if you go Sun, you could search Arcana Reading, and then search a Hierophant, and then just kind of go from there. So, yeah, really fun deck. Really fun deck. So we are going to be looking at 3 copies of Arcana Spread. This is your E-Telly. Now this card sadly does have the coin flip effect, where if Light Barrier is not on the field, you have to flip for one of its effects. Heads is an E-Telly, you special summon Arcana Force from deck, or Tails, it's a Monster Reborn. So this one's kind of not bad because both the Heads and Tails effects are genuinely decent. We've got a playset of Light Barrier. This one's self-explanatory. It's the field spell that helps the deck live, and it gives you the coin flip that you want. Because, I mean, a majority of the coin flips, the heads is good, Tails is bad. That's typically, and not so much on the newer ones, but the older ones, and especially this card, Arcana Reading. This is a searcher for your deck, but it's not a 1-card searcher. You need to have Light Barrier on field, because if you flip Tails, your opponent can add any card from their deck to the hand. This card is something that it's good when you get to resolve it. It's really bad if your opponent is resolving and adding any card they want to their hand. We can kind of play through Dark Ruler No More. So there is 3 of them. Basically, you're going to skip your opponent's turn. So if you happen to go second, you skip their turn. You Dark Ruler No More their board. Destroy their monsters that would be negate issues. And then turn comes back to you. Once turn comes back to you, you don't have to worry about really anything being on board. And then you could potentially OTK for a game. So I do... I was thinking about playing Forbidden Droplet at 3, but I'm only playing it at 2 because we can abuse Dark Ruler No More. It would kind of be dumb to play 3 and 3. Just personal opinion. If you want to, go ahead. 1 called by. Reasoning is there as a way to just kind of try to get something on board. If, for example, you get negated, or if you just can't, you don't have the Light Barrier and you just got to try to make something on the board. Terraforming is self-explanatory. Just another copy of the Light Barrier. Monster Reborn is just another Arcana Spread. And 1-for-1 allows you to get the Fool to your field and basically get yourself an Arcana Force on field. And last but not least, we have the Skill Drain. And the reason that I am playing Skill Drain is because this card right here is a Skill Drain on legs. If you are unable to get to the desired end board, you can leave him on field with Light Barrier, and your opponent, if they don't open some form of out, your opponent is basically screwed and they're under skill drain. So I figured play a fourth one, you know, just in case we need it. But I'm going to go ahead real quick and just kind of show you guys how this works. So I'm going to grab a copy of Light Force. So this is going to kind of be just a quick combo video just to show you what this one card can do. So I activate Light Force, and I need one discard in hand. So I need one discard plus Light Force. So I activate the Light Force, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for a copy of the Fiend and a copy of the Sun. I'm going to special summon out, or sorry, I'm going to activate the Fiend first. Always activate the Fiend first so you get your Light Barrier. You activate the Light Barrier. You special out the Sun. You use the Sun's effect to search Arcana reading. You activate the Arcana reading. You search for Hierophant. You normal summon out the Hierophant. You give your opponent the World. Okay. After you give your opponent the World, you go ahead and you fuse all three of these together, because you can fuse for that monster, okay, either side of the field. If your opponent is randomly playing Arcana Force, you can literally just open up, you know, and summon that out. Like, take their monsters pretty much and summon this guy out. It's an interesting mirror match. I've yet to really have a mirror match with this deck because nobody else really plays it. But on summon, his head's effect will summon out either the Dark Roller or Light Roller, or his tail's effect will grab you an Arcana Spread. You would activate the Arcana Spread, targeting the World from the grave, special summoning it out, and then declaring the head's effect. You would then, in end phase, you would tribute these two, skip your opponent's next turn. One thing we forgot to do was discard a card off of Light Force, but just on activation, you just discard a card, and then you do everything else that I just said. And then what happens is turn's going to shift back to you. Now, if Light Barrier in the standby phase happens to negate itself because, you know, the deck is just so self-loathing, that's totally fine. We're chilling. You just go ahead and you add yourself another copy of the Fiend and another copy of the Sun off of whatever you draw. So I draw a card for turn. I discard it. I search these two. I activate the Fiend if I need to get another Light Barrier. We then activate the Light Barrier, throwing the one in the grave. You then can special out the Sun. And you're going to search... actually, before you summon the Sun, what I would suggest doing is looking at your graveyard, using the effect of Arcana Spread to banish it, and then add a copy of the Hierophant back to your hand. What you can do is then you can pitch the Hierophant. So now your opponent, I'm not saying they were holding out with a hand trap, but if they were, your opponent cannot hand trap your monsters now. So you're going to activate the Sun. You're going to search for Arcana reading. You're going to activate it. And you're going to summon out the Hierophant. You're going to use the Hierophant to special summon any of your other Arcana Force monsters. And then we're going to fuse all three of these together. Make the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler on summon is going to summon out the Dark Ruler. We're going to declare the Head's effect. And then we are going to attack twice directly. 1, 2 for game. That is essentially Arcana Force. It is a gimmicky little pseudo FTK deck. Me personally, I have a lot of fun with this. I know that some people might not like FTKs, but it's fun. Guys, stay tuned for the combo video where I show you all the different combinations that can end on this board. Cypher Slagger out.